Welcome back to another episode of Rob Sports Center, man. As you can see by the title, we're going to be taking another look at that 2025 class coming out of the state of Louisiana. And for this video, man, we have, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, man. If I'm not, I'm so sorry, Mr. Leonel Prudhomme. He's a 6'3", 295-pound offensive lineman that played for Captain Shreve High School. He's a Arkansas Razorbacks commit. 24/7 Sports has him ranked as a 3-star recruit with an 88 player rating. Now, going back to the Captain Shreve thing, now you know what I always talk about is level of competition. So you know Captain Shreve is 5A, so you know that they go up against teams like the likes of Parkway, Airline, Bird, Evangel now that they was in 5A this year. So the level of competition is up there, because when you're playing in 5A, obviously you're more prone to be playing with guys that potentially will be playing on the next level. So when you're dominating there, then I can see that as an easier transition going to the next level. And like I say, but that's not to say that anything under that does not matter. He had college offers from the likes of Texas Tech, Arizona State, Georgia Tech, Grambling State, Houston, Lamar, ULL, LA Tech, Memphis, Mississippi State, Missouri, Ole Miss, Southern, Sam Houston State, Tulane, Tulsa, LSU, and Texas. So he was very sought out after as a recruit. And like I said, just looking at the film briefly, just seeing his physicality, but not only that, seeing the energy that he brings to his team, that is also something that, could lead to you being highly recruited. And I kind of can understand why he has, I understand why he does have a lot of those offers that he have, and just the physical specimen that he is as well, being 6'3", 295 pounds, kind of pushing 300. His high school athletic background, he also competes in track and field discus. He played for football. He actually played offensive and defensive line. So I didn't get a chance to see him as a defensive lineman, but it's so crazy because even like before I knew that he played offensive and defensive line, just looking at how he was dominating people at the point of attack on offense as an offensive lineman, I was saying, man, normally just seeing him laying guys out the way he was, as normally you see something from a defensive lineman where they're leveling the blocker or where they just throwing an offensive lineman around. So seeing that, and I think that also helps with his added level of physicality, being that he did play both sides. He won a district championship in a discus as a junior with a throw of 165-0.5. He placed 5th at Louisiana 5A regionals with a discus rep of 153-2 that was per Mr. Gabe Brooks. So shout out to Gabe Brooks. So now we have Gabe Brooks, 24/7 Sports scouting analyst of this young man. So Mr. Gabe Brooks put that he's a strong, thick-trunked offensive lineman with valuable two-way experience. So when he was saying two-way experience, originally I thought that because he does line up as a tackle and as a guard. So that's what I thought he meant by Gabe Brooks when he said two-way experience, but he was basically talking about offense and defense. Like I said, I wish I would have had a chance to kind of see him play defensive line. And he might have played it his junior year, so I didn't go look at his junior year tape. I just looked at the senior year, so I might have to kind of go back and look at that to see, how effective he was as a D lineman. He seems to play with an edge to him, too strong at the point of attack for most high school defenders to affect him. Now, I will say this, and this is not to say that he can't. Most of the time that I did see him leveling defenders, most of the time it looked like it was more so linebackers, safeties, and possibly corners. I didn't really just see him throwing around defensive linemen like that. But obviously, we all know that highlights only tell you one side to his story. That probably was the case in a lot of games, but it just didn't lead to anything magnificent like a touchdown run or a big play. So he didn't put it in, because obviously with highlights, you're going to put your best plays in. He plays high at times, but keeps feet fairly active upon engagement and can overwhelm defenders even if hand placement and leverage aren't ideal. Got some pop in his hands and pass protection, extensive right tackle snaps that show comfort on an island versus smaller, quicker edges, pretty quick first step as a defensive lineman, enabling sneaky, penetrating ability, sometimes initiates with shoulder pass on both sides of the LOS and can better use of extension and punch power. Projects power for a level as a tone-setting run game presence with enough functional athleticism to hold his own versus pass rushers. So now we're going to get to Rob's evaluation, my evaluation of what I put for him. He's a big body offensive lineman that is very violent at the point of attack. He played with a high amount of energy. Whenever he makes a big block, he gets hyped up, which can light a fire under an offense and get them rolling. So, if you guys don't know, I'm very big on, it's a few things that I'm very big on. One of them most definitely is effort, because I always say effort is free. Effort, you don't have to be the most athletic. You don't have to be the biggest, the smallest to give effort play in and play out. But then I'm also big on energy too, because energy can translate over to your teammates and they can get them rocking and rolling. We see what guys like Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, if you're familiar with the NFL, brings to a defense with the level of energy he plays with, and we see that from various team to team. But Chauncey Gardner Johnson is the first guy that comes to mind with that. He can line up as a left tackle and guard. However, it looks like when he lines up as a guard, they usually pull him. I think that because of his raw power and physicality, he dominates defenders on the high school level. So his technique is not really idealistic, and going to the next level, especially the SEC, he won't be able to get away with what he was in high school. But technique can always be taught and better developed. I've seen a greater impact in the running game from watching him, whether that was him blocking from the left tackle position or him pulling from the guard position to get out front of his running back and create possible running lanes. Now, I put things that I would like to see more of him. Once again, this is not to say that he does not do this. I just didn't see it on film. And like I always say, man, film only tells you one side to a story, or one side to a player. However, I would like to see his ability to make an initial block and climb to the next level. I would like to see his footwork and hand placement and pass protection more consistently, and his conditioning play to play. Does he come out the game often, or does he play entire possessions? Plays that stood out to me was first play against Halton. They had him lined up as a guard. He pulled from the guard position and leveled a linebacker that led to a touchdown run. And he also ran the length of the field to celebrate with his running back in the end zone. That play showcases his athleticism to pull from the guard position and to run the length of the field, as well as his strength and team spirit to meet his running back in the end zone to celebrate with him. Like going back to the energy thing, man, that is just one of those things that it's infectious. When you got a guy that plays with that level of energy, man, he has everybody hyped and everybody wants to go out there and make a play. So you love having a guy that brings that to a team. His second play, he was lined up as a guard, and this time they did not pull him. Evangel gave him a free release for whatever reason. It might have been a certain block, a certain point of attack scheme that they were trying to do to try to disrupt Captain Shreve offensively. And I also want to make a note, too, that Captain Shreve was actually probably one of the better rushing teams. I know for sure in their division, but I'm pretty sure in 5A as a whole, they had their running back had a good season. And I mean, that's not just him. That leads to, coaching, but also offensive line blocking and things like that. So I think that's something to point out as well. But they gave him a free release. He got to the next level and destroyed a would-be tackler that led to an explosive touchdown run. And him and his QB celebrated as his running back was sprinting to the end zone once again, showcasing his physicality and bringing that high energy and feeding it to the offense, man. Because like I say, as the running back is running down the field, Jamarcia Plater running down the field, you got him and Brody Savage that's hyped up, celebrating as he's running in the end zone. So like I say, man, that's an infectious thing to bring to a team. So I that always stands out to me, and I always highlight that. But man, that is it for this video, man. If you're an Arkansas fan, man, let me know what y'all think about this signing. Are you guys happy that he's going to come in? Do you guys think that he's going to have an immediate impact? And if you're an Arkansas fan, you watch this video, man, do me a big favor as well. If you're a Captain Shreve fan, man, smash that thumbs up button. Also, if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. When we subscribe, click that notification bell where you'll be notified every time I upload. Well, actually, I think notification bell automatically clicks, but just double check to make sure that it is on. That way you don't miss an upload, man. And I'll see y'all in the next video.